a particular? Are you able to look in the past cases that I've tried to get assistance with? North Texas Legal Aid.
Uh,
I like to know the protocol before I go into the situation, because all legal representation that I've ever tried to get has always denied me all of it. So if there's a referral, do you have an approval process, or is a woman fleeing abuse enough to get assistance? Because all people say I may, they might. Well, we don't know, and I never get it. I just
so
don't.
what we do, I know we're associated with them, but we don't go on their cases. So if you're denied for their reason or their protocol, that's different. We have a different protocol. So the only thing that would make you not be able to get any type of assistance is if it was a conflict of interest. I don't think there's a conflict of interest in this case yet, but I don't have like all of the information to run a query yet.
Oh, because
Um,
I've been denied services multiple different times. If I was really talking to North Texas Legal Aid, and she was supposed to be giving me legal advice and was covering for crimes. But nonetheless, okay, what happened was CPS, we were getting terrorized in this community in Itasca. I was getting gang stalked, me and my child, and we didn't know we were being targeted. So
okay.
people would walk in the house. Someone was telling me what I was doing online. I had this strange online relationship with someone that claims that he was worth billions and hiding his income or his worth.
Mm-hmm.
So nonetheless, he claims that he was worth billions, and each time he was upset, I get a case mailed out, or strange things would happen. My lights would go off mysteriously, gas, and just really peculiar things. And the people that were pathological lies, sabotaging my life, people were trying to say things to get my daughter taken away. And a lot of these
Okay.
parties got caught in lies. They failed her at a Tesca school, elementary school in Mallison. I called the police. They had did it the first 6 weeks. She was a straight A student. They didn't know I monitored all her grades. She had this really hard test and made 110 on it. They fabricated her test grades and said she made a 40 on it. And I showed it to the police. So within hours, they changed her grade from a 40 that she was making to an 80, but she was really a high A student. So I'm not quite
Okay.
certain of why the school failed my daughter in malice and made false reports to the CPS, and CPS worker also lied. So the CPS worker came to visit me when I was in jail on false charges and told me that they were terminating my rights. I wrote the Waco FBI of James Hastings and Regina, I can't think of her name. Regina Harris, I think that was her name. I can't remember it. But Regina, that they were accomplices in schemes to sabotage my rights as a parent. And I told them to review all the letters that I had wrote to the court, and that I had wrote all other parties, because they keep the letters that are written. The FBI ignored me and covered for it. Waco FBI. But at that time, it showed a conspiracy. So the 255th Family Court let these parties disappear off the docket because they were terminating my rights and didn't follow protocol, didn't give me an attorney, and didn't follow a lot of the family code. Since the court officials, I had a court hearing with um, Kim Cooks. Kim Cooks would not let me appear at court and was rude at my court date. They rescheduled it to, I think his name is Beecham or Scott Beecham or something
Uh-huh.
like that. So Scott Beecham, I had a court date and he wouldn't let me appear at court. I said that they are not letting me see my child. He said that we don't have you. They, at that time, it was visitation on the weekends. They altered court documents to where they discontinued the visitation on the weekends and would not let me appear at court a second time. So I started reporting it and got a YouTube channel and started uploading videos, and went to the Texas Rangers, where I was instructed to go to report government officials' criminal activity. I did this April of 2019. And at the Texas Rangers, they arrested me for reporting the crimes and put me in, bullied me in jail. So at that time, I guess the judges, Kim Cooks and Beecham, got kind of frazzled and did not want charges for conspiracy charges and the felony charge of conspiring to violate someone's parental rights. So they dismissed the case. Okay.
Okay.
At fast forward the Texas Rangers incident, I was in jail for reporting the court's crimes and other criminal activity. Um, Mary Murphy terminated my rights, a judge that I never met. So the dad went up there, instructed by CPS, to do a restraining order on me when I had no access to my daughter, to be abusive. So, but it was someone, I think, a mastermind that was running a lot of people. So fast forward to Mary Murphy she did not follow the family code. There was no CPS investigation. There was no reporter for child abuse, and it was dismissed 1 month and terminated the next. So each legal representative I get has denied assistance when they uncover corruption. It shows online to be dismissed and not terminated. So I went to
Okay.
the family place, Faith Liberties FLP. They won't talk to me or return my calls, and I gave them all the paperwork to set up the supervised visits. And they also have other programs for reuniting families, as well as multiple different other organizations, CPS, and all kind of other places have reunification programs to get families reunified. They denied me all that assistance. All places that I've ever went to, I believe, are being influenced, and repeatedly deprive me of services and information on how to combat this sensitive issue. So to this day, my daughter witnessed my false arrest. That's how we were separated, and a task guide was set up on false charges. When I ended an online relationship with this man, I think is the mastermind behind the insanity. So they arrested me on false charges. They lied and said I assaulted arrest and evaded arrest and assaulted the officer. It was a blatant lie. They eventually dismissed those charges. But nonetheless, ever since then, crimes have been committed. So the CPS enlisted the dad to go up there and make false statements. I have the dad recorded saying that he don't know why my rights were terminated, and the stepmom that has been abusive and had bruises on her. So I was able to speak with my daughter, and my daughter reported that someone hit her and did not go into detail. So after that, we've been separated. So there's been a
Okay.
track record of my daughter being punished when she reaches out for help by government officials and the environment that she's staying in. So some mysterious person hit her. So she knows that the police department, as well as my family, they know that the police department is covering for all these crimes and us not being safe. So they don't want to be around me because they know we don't have protection. And some of them even conspired with crimes and terror. For example,
Okay.
my sister lied and said that I jumped on someone that wasn't there. Because detaining someone, they have to be a threat to yourself, themselves, or someone else. You just can't say someone's mentally ill and then you detain them and take their freedom. They have to be a threat to themselves or someone else. So my sister blatantly lied after she showed an immense amount of fear from whatever reason she had this fear. They won't be honest with me. She blatantly lied and said I did something to someone that isn't there, which is criminal, right?
That's what. Yeah, that sounds like it is.
Okay.
It really does.
Well, the legal representation haven't really known a lot to really advocate for me, but yeah, making false reports of that's like kidnapping. I thought it was a felony. So I reported her crime to the police and they covered for it. They seem to be in cahoots together. So that's
And
what it
is
is.
it in Dallas County?
It is in Dallas.
Okay. Now, the custody modification that you want to do you have that what's called that cause number or the case number by any chance?
Yes. It's
We are currently working on the expungement case for you. I would.
Okay, good.
So it can help you with if we can assist you or what you
Oh,
can do.
so I thought you just said that you would be able to help if it wasn't a conflict of interest. And now that I've given you all the information, you have to decide if you're going to help again?
Well, I don't. The attorney does.
Oh, okay, because I thought you just said that the only way that you don't help people is if it was a conflict of interest. So now that I've
That's
given
the only
you
way.
the whole spill,
It should not be a problem, but it just depends on the funds because we're funded by organizations.
as I have expressed that there's a lot of corruption, and for some reason our legal representation has been sabotaged, and I haven't seen it. And I'm just trying to establish that pattern. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. No one's been held accountable for crimes in the past. Why change? Why change your behavior? So all I can do is sit back and see. But as you can see, why would I repeatedly get denied legal assistance for something as serious as child abuse? And my child being placed in a unsafe environment where there's abuse. Why would legal representation repeatedly deprive me of legal representation to protect my child as well as my interests as well for something as serious as my report?
No, I know that. I'm not sure because I'm not an attorney, so I can't answer that question. I only do the intake and then schedule an appointment for an attorney, for you to speak to an attorney.
Well, I haven't seen it. Like I said, why would it change? I'm just
We can
trying to
still
establish a
try.
pattern that people are being influenced, and conspiracy to violate rights is a felony. And I'm just trying to establish a pattern that that's what's really happening.
No, ma'am, it's not happening here because we are assisting you on another case, so it's not happening here.
The problem, you're assisting me on the expungement. I asked for legal representation for the family situation, and I asked for legal representation for a protection order, and it was denied. I didn't ask for her to do the expungement on dismissed charges. And then when I asked her to do the help with the license and all that chaos going on with my license, and how it was something was put on my driving record when I wasn't even driving on pathological lies, and how I was in jail like 15, 20 times, how to get a lot of situations dismissed, including the ticket that I got for trying to report child abuse, and calling the police on the police for repeatedly committing crimes over and over. Some kind of way I'm forced to get that legal representation, and I'm trying to save my life as well as my child's life. That's ignored. But and yet and still she wants to represent me on expungement for dismissed charges. There were evidence that I was repeatedly arrested in corruption. I'm just not quite certain on why I can't make decisions and can't be like other parties. If I need help with a protection order and you can see that there's child abuse involved, why would I be repeatedly denied legal representation? After countless hours of speaking with people, giving them information, giving feedback over and over, reliving it and being traumatized, to repeatedly get denied services all over the place. All I can do is just wait, man, and see how many patterns equal an arrest.
I know I know it's really frustrating. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through all this.
What was your name?
My name is Linda.
Okay.
So the only thing that I can do right now is to take down your intake and then schedule you an appointment with the family attorney so you can speak with them.
Okay. So the referral's done. Then you do an intake. Then the attorney has to accept it.
Well, they're going to call you back with the phone interview to go over everything, and then they'll let you know at that time.
Okay, so then I'll get a phone interview to go over everything again. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then I go over everything again. Then after that I go over everything again, then what happens?
The attorney will let you know if they're able to assist you, if they can, how they can assist you, or what your best options will be.
Okay, so can you explain to me why other people like at Denton County Friends of the Family got legal representation and help? Why at Family Place people got legal representation and help and I didn't get it? Can you explain why Genesis, that I ran into someone that said she was an attorney for Genesis? I've never seen it. That advocated for women fleeing abuse and had custody issues with their children. I think people, once again, are being influenced. I think that there's a conspiracy keeping me away from my rights and legal representation to expose countless felonies. I think it's deliberate. I think the reason I haven't had legal representation is because someone's ensuring that I never see it at multiple different locations.
I'm so sorry you've been denied. I don't know why they've denied you or anything like that.
Don't you have it on file? You work for North Texas?
We only have our files.
Right, that's what it's already happened with you. Can't you investigate and see why they did it? Repeatedly over and over?
Those are different organizations that aren't
there's a disconnect with a lot of different phone calls. North Texas Legal Aid denied me assistance before in cover for crimes. Told me it was in my head. So can you see why they did it? Denied legal representation.
No,
ma'am. You can't check and see why North Texas Legal Aid denied legal representation?
No, ma'am, I can't. I'm sorry.
Why not?
I can't get into. I don't have that system. I only have our system.
You are North Texas Legal Aid.
Like that.
Aren't you North Texas Legal Aid?
We're in North Texas Legal Aid in Northwest Texas, yes.
Well, that's your system.
But I don't have anything in the file for you for that. The only thing I have is your expulsion case.
So you were able to do the expungement on dismissed charges, but you can't save a child from being abused. There's no guarantee that you can save a child from being abused.
Is your expulsion case. I can't see for anything
I'm just trying to get clarity. So you can expunge dismissed charges that I didn't ask for, and then they refuse to help get these tickets off when I have been in jail 15 different times on false charges. They won't help with that and scam to keep me from doing that, but they'll help expunge dismissed charges. So I just wanted, you're helping Brittany more with that. I didn't know that you guys were working together. Maybe she told me and I didn't realize. I didn't realize that you were working together for that. But nonetheless, you will help expunge dismissed charges. What I didn't really want help with, I tried to protect my child. But you can't guarantee that you'll protect the child and keep her from being abused.
We don't have any open cases for that. The only case I see is the expunction case.
So you call me the legal aid did not refer you over for the family law case?
So the one that we got was from Trala.
Right, that's family law, right?
It's one of their things that they're like our organization. They handle civil cases and family law cases. But since your case is in Dallas, they referred you to us.
Right. So my question is that you will help with dismissing expungements, but you're not sure that you'll help protect the child from child abuse.
It's not up to me. It's the attorneys who make that decision, not me.
I'm just trying to get clarity because it's never happened. CPS didn't do it. The FBI didn't do it. The police department didn't do it. Armies full of others didn't do it. Domestic violence organizations didn't do it. Their legal advocates didn't do it just because that child is mine. She don't deserve it, nor do I. But all I can do, ma'am, I've begged for several years. All I can do is just establish a pattern. I've talked to all these people, and it's happened years, that the only objective that they have is to con and convince others that they're really not conspiring to violate my rights so they don't get these felonies. So that's all, that's what it is. So when will it happen that when I actually speak with an attorney, because these people call me and they don't have legal knowledge and know, what about the protection order? Why would he have to go through? Can I finish speaking? Can I finish?
That you want a protection order as well.
She said that she was referring me over to the protection order. All locations try to scheme to where I can't get it.
What she said on here was that you needed assistance for a custody modification.
Oh, okay, you're right. You're right. They said that they possibly could help with the protection order. Okay, so as for the family law situation, if you don't help, does anyone help on the planet? Do you get me connected with pro bono attorneys?
We have the Dallas Bar Association. They do have pro bono attorneys as well.
I've called and they've never been connected me, and then they tried to charge me like $50 for each referral. I didn't know who I was talking to. I thought it was odd that they wanted to charge me $50 for each number. I wasn't recording them.
Oh wow, I've never heard of that.
That's why I had to start recording.
Oh, okay. No, I've never heard of them doing that. I'm sorry.
Okay, ma'am. So I don't know what to do.
So we would have to go through an intake so that way I can get you an appointment with a family attorney to at least speak with.
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
What is your date of birth?
Okay, ma'am, I have a question. Do you have it as a child modification instead of exposing crimes to keep me away from my child?
That's what they had listed on that referral that they sent to me.
Okay, there's just been a disconnect. Okay, so I've tried to go through the police department to report felonies. They said hire an attorney to report felonies. All of them have covered for the felonies. So why don't anyone want to expose countless felonies that government officials chose to rack up for themselves? If my legal representation is covering for criminal activity, how is that going to benefit me repeatedly over and over?
That would be a question you need to ask the attorney who you speak with.
Okay, but you said is a modification different than exposing that government crimes were committed to keep me away from my children? Are those different factors, or is that the same thing?
No, the child modification is meaning that you want to change something on the custody agreement.
Okay, so getting protection against false reports, that's a different topic.
Yes, ma'am, that would be something different.
Okay, so the other legal aid that wasn't able to represent me when they uncovered that determination that when I exposed that there was government corruption, they forwarded over to you, and they tried to conceal that and only wanted did a referral for me to get representation for the modification and not criminal activity to sabotage my rights as a parent. It's been going on
That
almost a
wasn't mentioned on
decade.
there.
I'm sorry.
That wasn't mentioned on the referral that I got. It was just a child modification.
Yeah, this has been a distinctive pattern, which is why I want to emphasize. Because the case that you have for Brittany Moore, I was seeking out help for the situation with my daughter, and I was arrested at CPS and given criminal trespasses at other locations. So I'm trying to build a track record of someone is deliberately sabotaging my ability to get accountability for multiple different felonies. So I'm not quite certain why the person in the email did an advice through email and tried to convince me that termination of rights and corruption was irreversible and nothing can be done, as well as multiple other attorneys that were sabotaging legal advice. I'm not quite certain if my legal representation is repeatedly covering for felonies. How would that benefit me? And I thought hindering the case was a crime. I thought that there were responsibilities if someone saw corruption and so you're representing someone and you had integrity issues and deliberately sabotaged their case, that was criminal. So if I keep on spending countless hours year after year at signing up for legal representation that my abusers are controlling, what and how in the world can I combat that? Organization to organization that my abusers controlling, it's just sick. Okay, it is what it is until you get caught, right? Well, I don't know what to do. So can you actually give me the services that I was seeking? Or you guys have to cover for the felonies that I reported to you?
The only thing I can tell you is that when you talk to the attorney, I have an appointment on Wednesday the 16th at 1 p.m. over the phone. That's the only, you can talk to the attorney and let them know.
Okay, so they put in the wrong referral in the system. They covered for all the crimes committed to keep me away from my child, and they failed to put it in the referral?
I don't see that in there. The only thing I see is a child modification.
Yeah, that's a repeated pattern. Okay. It's kind of frustrating. You just got to prove that it's happening. Okay, ma'am.
So I do have a phone interview with you with the Miss Ashley Olson on the 16th, which